Welcome, everyone, to episode 677 of Good Luck High Five.
This is a show for you, whether you have been playing Magic or whether you have been, contemplating the wreckage that is this society that we live in. This is a show for you.
Or why not both, Tyler?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, sometimes you might need to. In fact, one might, playing the Magic might help a little bit with the contemplating of the wreckage.
Exactly.
At times, at least. So
sometimes
that's a good
you
point.
must take a break from contemplating the wreckage.
In fact, I highly recommend doing that. The full-time contemplation of the wreckage not going to do anyone any good.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Yeah, that's a to make a reference to our last episode. That's like blighting yourself. Like it's like it is an anti-gift, and you are not doing anyone any favors doing that. So.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
And this episode today is another great way to pause contemplating the wreckage because this is our very special Lorwyn episode where we have Judge Rob on to talk all about how the mechanics and some of the trickier card interactions in Lorwyn Eclipsed might work.
Yeah, like if you're going to show up to your LGS, or even if you aren't, you're just going to go on Arena and start playing with these cards, there are going to be, as there always are with sets, there's always cards that just don't work the way that you think that they're going to work just reading them. Case in point, I don't remember what that saga was from Avatar, but that white saga, the Mythic Saga, that card, if you didn't have Judge Rob's explanation for it, there was no way you were going to figure that out. So this is for us to pass some of that information along to you.
That's right. We're going to tap into Judge Rob's giant well of knowledge.
Yep.
I drink your knowledge.
Yeah, we're going to tap it. Yep. We're going to tap a well. Yeah. And that well is Judge Rob's cranium.
Yeah. And then
so don't
we're going to
think too much about it.
Suck it out with a straw?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've gone too far. As is our way, we've gone too far.
Yes, we have gone too far. Do you know who has not gone too far? Who has gone just far enough? The people who are supporters of this show over at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you all so much if you support this show. It means so very much to us, and it literally makes what we do possible.
Yes, yeah. In fact, if there was much less, it's like a great, like you said, they're doing the exact right amount because if there was much less, who knows? Like things could really, really get pretty gnarly
dicey.
around here.
Yeah,
dicey's a good,
Ooh, I liked gnarly.
Yeah, all right, well, good. Well, we each liked each other's, and that's as it should be.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our two new patrons, new patron Jeff and new patron Jason.
Yeah.
Jeff and Jason, thank you so much to you specifically for giving Tyler some hours outside the cage.
Yes, I mean, I will say...
We all need them now.
We do, yes, we do. I will say contemplating the wreckage in the cage, much worse than contemplating it outside the cage.
I believe that to be true,
period.
Tyler.
Yeah,
I believe that to be true.
Yeah.
And, of course, we have puns. We have great puns for you. Jeff...
Great ones, yes.
Great ones. Uh-oh. I really overpromised and I'm about to underdeliver. Oh gosh. Okay. This is the best Jeff that you could have given us. It was a really bad gift.
I did get it though. I did get it. Yeah, I did understand it. Even without you explaining it, I did personally understand it.
Thank you so much for the great Jeff of your patronage.
Okay, Jeff, I don't want to be left behind by your, oh God, that one completely came apart for me. All right, let's try it again.
Yeah.
Jeff, I would have felt Jeffed out if I hadn't gotten that Patreon subscription from you because I would have been Jeffed out of my life and in a cage. So thank you for that.
I don't know what this pun actually is supposed to mean, but I'm okay with just coining the phrase Jeffed out.
Well, I'll also offer this. What if you change the J sound with a L sound, like a L?
Left out. Oh, yeah. Left out. You don't want to be left out.
I don't want to be left out. Yeah.
Jason, thank you so much for being a patron. Jason the patron. That's a callback to the work of none other than artist Jason Derulo.
That's true. That's very true. I will say I wouldn't want to be Jason the world without your support.
Yeah, this Justin. No, we've done that for Justin. And I tried to just, like, it works so well for Justin, and we've done it a bunch, and then I just tried to make a worse version of it.
Yeah, shoot.
Well, look, you got my musical styling.
Yeah,
so.
those were, honestly, that felt the exact right amount.
I was so happy when you knew what I was doing, because I was really worried for a second that you would not, that people would generally have... that Jason Derulo has let the world go by him.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true a little bit, but I feel like if the majority, I would say, like, let's say 70% of people who are our audience members, I think will get that, like, right off the bat.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Rob. We're going to talk Lorwyn Eclipsed, but we're going to start off with a Judge Rob PSA.
Yes. My PSA is, it's always going to be topical. This one is authority, power that people have over you. It's an illusion of perception. If somebody tells you to do something, sometimes they have the physical power to do so, but oftentimes it's just a social structure enforcing it. Sometimes that's wrong, and sometimes you defy them. If you do that, oftentimes you pay the price in the social structure. This is a very generalized way to say sometimes resist the police, sometimes resist ICE. If you do and you get arrested, that's fine. That's normal. And then hopefully you can use that to create change. But that's what I got.
Yeah.
That's the topical thing.
That's legit, Rob.
Almost all social authority, your teacher, your boss, your everything. Yeah, they might have some hard power to back it up, but oftentimes it's soft power.
Yeah.
Soft power is like 90% of stuff. Like,
yes. In that vein, we have a fundraiser.
Yeah.
That we are doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're asking people to donate. There's 3 organizations that we would suggest, but I think broadly speaking, if you donate to an organization that supports immigrants in Minnesota or immigrants in this country in general, and you provide us some proof of that, we'll enter you into a raffle to win some Magic the Gathering product that we have.
Yes. And
the 3 organizations we would lift up are Unidos Minnesota, which is Unidos, that's UNIDOS-MN.org. There's also the Minnesota Freedom Fund, which specifically provides support for people who have been put in jail and need bail money. And it has grown a little bit from that. That's how it started, but that's still one of their primary focuses. That's mnfreedomfund.org. And then there's also the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee, which is miracmn.com. And they are the ones that, for those in Minnesota and the Minneapolis area, they're the ones that organized the Powderhorn protest that happened this past Saturday. So those are the 3 organizations we would lift up. But we encourage people to donate. It's a time when there's a lot of need right now, especially in Minnesota. A lot of federal funding has been cut off, even beyond the federal funding that had already been cut off. And there's lots of people in need, lots of people who might need groceries delivered to them, or might need, just feel unsafe to be out of their homes right now because of the amount of ICE people that are have descended on the state. So,
yep. Yeah. If you send us send us proof of your donation to one of those organizations or a similar organization of your choice at our email address, glhfmagic@gmail.com.
Yes.
Wow, I got lost. I was like, am I saying our email address that has been our email address?
15 years.
Yeah, well, not that one specifically. I think
but a decade.
But of a long time.
To Rob's point, a decade. I sure did still get lost in the middle of it for a second. And you will be entered in a raffle. And I'm also going to add to both of those things, to what Rob said and to what Tyler said. I feel like some of the discourse that I see is people being like, you're telling me I'm supposed to go live my normal life amidst all of this? And I'm here telling you that no, you're not. You're not actually supposed to be living your normal life right now. And in fact, this won't end until you are willing to in some way not live your normal life while it is happening, and to instead get in be gunk in the gears of what is trying to be the situation as normal in this country. So my number one recommendation is being connected to some form of local rapid response in your area. You are able to do things from home in rapid response. You are able to do things from your car, on foot. There are a lot of ways, but you probably really need to get your literal physical body and your actual time involved.
And some of it might be supporting friends or family members that are doing it too.
Yeah.
That also works.
Like if there's a family member that's going out and protesting a bunch and you're like, I I'm disabled and I can't protest, you can cook them a meal because they couldn't be home because they're protesting. You can do all
absolutely
sorts of stuff. You can do all sorts of little things to make things better.
But it's it's probably going to impact your time and your life is normal. And that's the way it should be right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Lorwyn Eclipsed.
Yeah.
Hard right turn. Hard right turn. But well, both are necessary because I will. The last little thing I will add is that you're always going to have to find a balance with this stuff, and it is as we have mentioned elsewhere on this episode. There is no. It's doing no one any good to burn yourself out or to obsess over things that you do not have any control over. And I am certainly guilty of it myself. In these situations, I want to just dive into a big pool of that information and just swim around in it. And I have found that, speaking for myself, that has not been something that's actually produced anything positive for me or for anyone in my life. And so good to be informed, especially things like what Megan just shared. There's lots of good information online right now about, your rights and about what you can do in situations if one arises or if you witness one of them. But beyond that, just kind of bathing in that information will, in my experience in it, is that it just overwhelms me. And there are times when you need to take a break from it too. Yeah. And perhaps this can be one of those breaks in this week.
Let's bathe ourselves in good information.
Yeah. Let's take a bath.
It's like a bubble bath inside your brain.
Yeah. And Rob,
Rob, you don't know what we said about your
Rob,
brain.
Before you got here, we did talk about how we were going to tap your brain and slurp some stuff out of it.
Oh,
and
like maple syrup?
Yeah, a lot like maple syrup. We didn't think of that specifically.
Or specifically, we're using the metaphor of there will be blood.
Yeah.
I drink your milkshake.
Yeah, that well type of scenario.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
got it. It's all about fracking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it always?
Yeah, well, often, yeah.
All right.
Returning mechanics.
Let's go, team.
Hey.
I'm going to call out the complicated and weird ones, including a thing that they said they weren't going to do anymore.
Yeah.
As the starting thing. So Changeling is back and Kindred are back. I've kind of united them together because they're the quintessential Lorwyn mechanics, I would say. The things that people remember the most. So like Firdosh Core is a 3-mana Kindred artifact shapeshifter. It has Changeling. Reminder text says this card is every creature type, and it taps for 1 mana of any color, and for 4 mana, this artifact becomes a 4/4 artifact creature until end of turn. And so Kindred is a weird thing. It's a card type. It doesn't behave like any other card type in Magic. Every other card type tells you how to play the card. Kindred does not tell you how to play the card. You can't have the word Kindred alone on a type line. If this is just a Kindred shapeshifter, you couldn't cast it. There's no instructions for how to do anything with a Kindred card. What Kindred does is it hooks up the whole list of creature types and lets you plug them onto that card. Every type in Magic every subtype in Magic is set to a different card type. So food is an artifact subtype. If you have food on something that isn't an artifact, it doesn't mean anything. It can't. Something that isn't an artifact can't have a food subtype. Similarly, all the creature types you can't have on things that aren't creatures. Kindred adds a type and then says, this also gives me access to the creature subtypes list because they all connect up to Kindred.
Nice.
It's very strange. People ask about why do we need it? The way the type system is defined is that subtypes link up in a very hard way to types. If you remove creature from a card, it stops being able to have creature types. If you remove artifact from a card, it stops being able to have artifact types. Food and clue and all the different artifact types that exist. Equipment just can't exist off of artifact. It's just the way the type system is defined. It would be possible to do it differently. It would be complicated in ways that people probably wouldn't anticipate. This is the way they've chosen to do it. It also tells you that that shapeshifter connects up to Kindred on that type line.
All right.
Yep. It's a card type, so it counts for Delirium if you care about Delirium. If you care about things that care about card types in general, Tarmogoyfs care about Kindred.
Okay. This is good to know.
That's nice for them.
Yeah. That is nice for them.
Changeling, the other half of this, is an ability that says this card is every creature type. There's a bunch of cards with Changeling in the set. Most of them are creatures. A couple of them are other things. It operates in all zones. It's a characteristic defining ability if you care. It defines the characteristic to say the whole list of creature types, all the ones that exist from Advisor on down, are on this card, basically. It behaves in a couple strange ways with ability editing and removing. And normally that'd be like a footnote, but there's multiple ways to remove abilities in the set. So I'll make sure to call those out when they happen. But basically, if something has Changeling and you remove its abilities, it still has all creature types.
Oh.
You can think of Changeling a lot as what it does is it just writes it all to the type line. It doesn't matter if you remove the creature later, they're all still there.
Gotcha.
Or remove the ability later, they're all still there.
Gotcha.
These are the complicated, weird things that they really didn't do outside of special sets since the last Lorwyn. They're the big flagship things from that, and they said, we don't want to do them again. They're back. They're like
until we do, we don't want to, but we do now.
Yeah, that's I think what is being said.
Yeah.
Behold.
Behold. You spent you two spent a ton of time reviewing Behold stuff last week. I'm not going to get too far into this. The Behold cards, I'll say, as an additional cost to do this, Behold an elf or 3 elementals or whatever. The ones like Champions of the Perfect, which is the one that you called out last week, as an additional cost to cast the spell, Behold an elf and exile it. That is an additional cost. It will be exiled while this card is on the stack. If the Champions of the Perfect gets countered, that card is still exiled and it's gone forever.
Alas.
This is the big blowout with these.
That is a big blowout.
There are multiple counter spells in this set. It's rough. The trade-off is this is a reference to a mechanic called Champion from the original Lorwyn block, which was when something entered the battlefield, champion a thing that matched its creature type. And those you could blow out by letting the champion trigger go on the stack and then destroying the creature with champion. Or destroying the only other thing that they could champion. So if this was actually champion an elf and you had only one elf, they put the thing out, they'd put the champion trigger on the stack, you kill the other elf, and then their champion creature just dies. So you're going to get 2 for 1 way or another. This is just really bad against counter spells. It's really good against creature removal.
Yeah.
Or you get the card back.
Or it's a lot better than the other.
Yeah, because you get the card back. You mentioned like ETB triggers. There's a lot of those in this set.
Yeah.
Like against creature removal, great. Against counter spells, not as good. So
shoot, I wish it was just good against everything.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But Evoke is another one that you spent some time reviewing last week, and it is an alternative cost to cast the spell. One thing to note for both Evoke and Convoke, which have really similar names, they behave really similarly. Except also entirely differently at the same time.
I was going to say, go on, Rob.
They both let you cast spells for a different cost, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't change the mana value of the card that you're casting.
Also true.
It's relevant because there's a bunch of if you cast a thing with mana value 4 in this set.
Sure.
I'm going to call one out when we get to the cards. If you evoke Vibrance, the card that you talked about with Evoke last week, it is a mana value 5 card, even if you just pay green for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it will trigger if you played a card with mana value 5, 4 or greater stuff. Very relevant, very interesting. Evoke also sets a cost, and that can be reduced. We'll talk about Ashling in a little bit because he's from the commander stuff, but I also have to call out Ashling because they gave Ashling errata already.
Yeah, they did. I saw that.
Convoke is very similar. It lets you pay by tapping creatures. It's basically water bending without being able to tap artifacts. And you can use these creatures to pay for colored symbols that match a color that they have. So if you have a hybrid blue-white card, you could use it to cast the blue pip, one of the blue pips on Lofty Dreams. It lets your hybrid creatures be color fixing, which is really unusual and weird.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Also, this set is very like when you look at a lot of these mechanics, this stuff is from around the time that Lorwyn Shadowmoor came out. Convoke was originally from Ravnica City of Guilds.
Sure. Yeah.
Right around then. This is like old head magic coded. These are like this feels like it was in a time capsule from the next year of Magic or something.
Yeah.
Which is very funny.
Yeah.
The new stuff, Vivid. So Vivid, again, I don't want to re-review a lot of the stuff that got talked about last week, basically. Vivid counts the number of colors of permanents that you have. One thing that trips up a lot of people that are newer to the game, lands are not colored objects by default. So if you think that your forest that taps for green is a green thing, it is not.
Yeah.
Vivid stuff basically comes in kind of 2 flavors. Either it changes the cost for something or doesn't affect. And anything that changes the cost for something is going to be locked in at the time that you pay the cost. Anything that doesn't affect checks during resolution. There is one card, or anything that picks targets locks in the targets at the time that the targets are picked.
Got it.
There's one card that does both. It does not behave in the way that you anticipate. Hybrid cards do count for both of their colors, no matter how you cast them. So like Glister Baron is a card with Vivid that costs hybrid green-blue mana to cast. Even if you pay for it with only forests, it counts towards your blue mana pips. You do not have to remember anything about this. It counts as a blue thing all the time, everywhere, even on the stack. So if you're casting Glister Baron with only forest, it's still a blue spell on the stack. If they had something that says counter target blue spell, they can counter it. You don't have to track any of that stuff. You have for the evoke elementals, you track the mana that was actually spent to cast them, but that's during resolution, and that just is for the purposes of the trigger. They're still both their colors in the stack, no matter what you paid.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Blight is the other new one. It's blight in a number. Puts the person who is instructed to blight chooses a creature, one creature, and puts that many counters, -1/-1 counters on it. So there's some things that instruct you to blight. There's some things that instruct your opponent to blight. Sometimes it's an additional cost. Sometimes it's an effect. It's just an instruction, just like anything else. It's pick a creature, put that many -1/-1 counters. It doesn't matter if the thing's too small. You can blight. If you have a 1/1 and you're instructed to blight 7, you put 7 counters on it.
It's so dead.
It's very
it's very
so
dead.
dead.
This might be relevant. It might be like you gain a life for each counter something has on it when that thing dies or whatever. I don't know if any cards like that might exist, but
it's fair to say that it would be relevant in that situation.
And so a lot of the blight cards have like either blight or pay an additional cost. There's a lot of like there's a lot of like
do one or the other.
Do one or the other kind of cost in this set. Blight does this a bunch. Like Bogslither's Embrace says, as an additional cost to cast this, either blight 1 or pay 3. This is also true for Behold. There's a bunch of Behold cards. It's either Behold a Merfolk or pay 2 mana. And so you get to make a choice during the casting of these spells, what you're going to do with them. And you make that choice, you pay the cost, and your opponent doesn't get to respond. They don't get to, like with Bogslither's Embrace, the blight's a cost. You pay it during the casting.
Sure.
They don't get to kill your only creature. It's too bad. They should have made a choice the previous time that they had priority to kill that creature if they didn't want you to blight it.
Too bad. So sad.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to rip through a bunch of these mechanics. Like you mentioned other ones that show up on a couple cards here or there.
Yeah.
If they're relevant, I'll call them out. For the most part, the reminder text is pretty good for things like Persist. There's a card with Wither in this set. There's like they've been doing where they just bring back a mechanic on a single card.
Yeah.
That's, there's one card with Flashback and Behold in the set. It's just weird.
Yeah.
And so that's read the cards, try to figure out what they do. They should be pretty straightforward. Call for help if you need a judge.
Always call for a judge.
Call
if you
for a
need
judge. Call for help. Again, their authority over you is an illusion of perception. As mentioned,
but in this case, it's one that's often beneficial to you.
They're not. They're here to help, and the worst thing that they could possibly do is like kick you out of the store and ban you. But if they do that for asking a simple rules question, then you probably didn't want to be there anyway.
That would be a wild turn of events and one that you would want to know about.
Yeah, I've heard stories like that before, and they're always a lot more complicated than that.
Sure,
it's they were always like trying to angle, shoot, trap, and trick their opponents, and the people were like. We just don't want to play Magic with you anymore. You can feel free to not come here. Am I banned? We just won't sell you any tournament entries. You can show up and hang out, but we don't want you to play with our players. And they were like, well, fine, then I won't be here anymore either. And it's like, okay, that was what we wanted. So.
All right, Rob, we've got a bunch of individual cards now to talk about.
Individual cards. I'm going to call it one that you won't open in a booster pack.
Yes.
Ashling the Limitless. Ashling the Limitless is a red and 2 for a 2/3 legendary creature elemental sorcerer. I am not going to read Ashling's text.
All right.
Because it got different text.
That's true.
So Ashling Limitless says that elemental spells you cast from your hand have evoke 4. The revised text though is elemental permanent spells you cast from your hand gain evoke 4 as you cast them. The gain as you cast them is a rules cleanup on Ashling and Zerda the Dawnwaker. But the elemental permanent spells is functional
Yes.
because there can be elemental kindred spells
Right.
that are not permanents. Notably, you could have something like, say, Crib Swap or Ashling's Command that are kindred and are elementals. They behave a little weird if you give them evoke, and wizards realize that they shouldn't give them evoke, so they changed it.
All right.
Like
Fair.
they were like, "Oops, we didn't think about the fact that there's non-permanent
Cards that
cards."
are
Yeah.
technically
They're just
elementals.
there's just part of the thing with putting creature types on non-creature things. You end up with some weird situations.
Yeah.
So you can't evoke an Ashling's Command. What you can do is just cast it because it only costs 5 mana.
Sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is only one more. Calm
And
down.
it's
cast
pretty
it. Just
powerful
cast
to
it.
cast it. Like all of its modes are ridiculous, and you get to pick 2 of them. So Ashling also says whenever you sacrifice a non-token elemental, create a token that's a copy of it. The token gains haste. Beginning of your next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay Wooburg. It's pretty good. I don't know if anybody here would know anything about how good it feels to play this card.
Yeah, I can't
I
think of anyone who
wonder.
would
Gosh,
either.
I can't think if there's anybody here who just
who's been
felt
lucky enough.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's like literally, absolutely all powerful while
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
this. No, anyways.
Yeah. Neither here nor there, but just
Yeah, neither here nor
came
there.
across
Yeah.
our minds. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw a Commander video that might have had it, but
Yeah. Might have been a dream.
yep.
Yeah.
It might have
Hey.
been a nightmare.
Shout out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
possible
out.
that too.
We do have a Commander Arcane
Yes.
episode up if you haven't already seen it, where
yes,
I
yes,
do
yes,
play
yes,
this deck.
yes,
Yeah.
it's
We play 3 Lorwyn, unique Lorwyn builds, and then I play this pre-con.
Yeah. And and
Pretty good.
the pre-con,
it's a
it makes a good showing.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Ashling's a heck of a magic card.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Even without errata.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
All
three,
right.
just
errata
3
doesn't
mana.
do- like from a functional perspective for your gameplay, you probably like most people
Yeah.
wouldn't have even thought about doing this.
Totally.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just you can't.
It's a
You can't
cleanup
evoke
for the
Crib Swap.
fact. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
cleanup for a situation that they didn't
Yeah,
anticipate.
it's just a little weird.
Yeah.
Next up, Barbed Bloodletter.
Yeah.
This is
yeah.
1 and a black for an artifact equipment. It has flash. When this equipment enters, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains Wither until end of turn. Reminder, it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and equip 2.
Yeah. So Barbed Bloodletter, like I mentioned, there's a card in the set that gives Wither. Wither doesn't change that the creature's dealing damage. It still deals that much damage. It just changes the outcome for the damage that it deals specifically to creatures. If you have, say, lifelink in Wither, you still gain life equal to the amount of damage it deals. It still is damage if you prevent it with something. Protection stops the damage because it's still just damage.
Sure.
It just does something instead of marking the damage as that gets cleared, it's kind of permanent.
It's just damage that looks a little different.
Yeah.
Just damage that looks a little different.
Blossom Bind is our next one. Tyler, you want to read this one?
Yeah, Blossom Bind is 1 and a blue for an enchantment aura, and it reads Enchant Creature. When this aura enters, tap Enchanted Creature. Enchanted creature can't become untapped and can't have counters put on it.
Wow.
This card is wild. It does a
Yeah.
couple of very strange things. So it taps the thing. It can't untap. It can't become untapped. You use something that says untap target creature. It just shrugs at
Yeah,
it.
this is a very good
Okay.
call out because oftentimes
Yep.
these types of effects can be untapped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oftentimes
And
it just
it's a
says
blowout
they don't
of a
untap
card.
during their untap step.
Yeah,
and
exactly, yeah.
They're just like, no, I'm going to untap it anyways, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Shoot.
nope,
Yeah.
nope. This is
That's
even
too
worse.
bad for
Yeah,
me.
this is even worse than stun counters. This is like kind of like stun counters. Stun counters say that if it would become untapped instead of remove a stun counter.
Yeah.
This is if it would become untapped.
No.
It doesn't.
Nothing. And it can't have counters put on it. This does this interacts very much with blight is the intention. You can't ship the creature away by blighting.
Sure.
If you go to choose a thing to blight, because blight says choose a creature, put that many counters on it, you cannot choose it for blight. It's not an option that you can choose. If you were casting a spell and that said you either blight a thing or pay mana, and your only creature is a creature with Blossom Bind, you cannot pick the blight option because you cannot do the thing that it's asking you for. And so if your opponent has a thing that blights a creature you control, you can't put the counters on Blossom Bind. The intention is, it's just kind of stuck here. You can't even use it for the stuff that you would really want to put a pacified creature to use for.
Yeah.
Too
So,
bad.
yep. And it limits your ability to even make these choices.
Too bad, punk.
Yep.
Next up, Enraged Flamecaster. This is 2 and a red for a creature elemental sorcerer. It's a 3/2 with reach. And whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent.
Yep. And this is my call out for whenever you cast a spell with mana value, it looks at the numbers up in the upper right. It doesn't care what you actually paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about what you paid. It's about what the thing's numerical cost is.
Mm-hmm.
So you pay for it with creatures. You pay for it with evoke. You pay for it by paying life instead of paying its mana cost. You cast it without paying its mana cost, like with Marilyn or something.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You cast a 4, Enraged Flamecaster, and its elemental ilk will all trigger.
Yeah. He's like, good enough for me.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like, he doesn't care how you got there, just that a 4 got cast.
I also appreciate you calling out this card, Rob, because it definitely is a candidate for secret reach, I would say, for sure.
Yes.
So just, remember this card has reach on it.
I will forget.
If you're on Arena, they have added a massive giant glowing arrow thing to it. So it's harder to forget for sure, but still sometimes you can. In person,
I will be
forgetting.
Very secret.
Yeah,
reach.
I really feel like that.
This is a
like, what is it doing on this card?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a Warpath Ghoul with 2 abilities that you don't remember what it does.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's right.
Yeah. And so, yep, the most secret reach.
Yeah. Next up is Glamour Might. It's 2 and a blue for a creature fairy rogue. Has flash, flying. When this creature enters, choose 1. Tap target creature or untap target creature.
Yeah. It's
a
Pester
2/2.
Might. Yeah. It's a 2/2.
Yeah.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
It doesn't get killed as easily as Pester Might.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Extra point of toughness means a lot.
Yeah.
But so this is the return of Pester Might. It has unlike Pester Might, it's got a modal trigger. So you put this trigger in the stack, you pick a target, and you pick which thing you're doing to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you use Glamour Might, you target a thing, and there's a tapper in the set that has 1 tap as additional cost, tap a creature. Doesn't matter. You pick the tap target creature mode. That means that's the mode that's what's happening. You have to pick a target for this, but you can pick to target itself with the untap target creature mode. If you get confused on Arena, this is like, if you play it on your opponent's end step because you just want to attack with a 2/2 flyer, and it's like, you have to do a thing, and you're like, okay, I pick this. What do I need to pick? Just pick the untap mode.
Yeah.
It's fine. And so you pick the mode in the target all at the same time, and then you're locked into that exact thing that's happening. And so your opponent knows exactly what's going to happen at the time that it resolves as well. So
Next up, we have Boulder Dash. This is, love that game.
Oh my gosh. Just what a delight. This
1 and a red for a sorcery. Boulder Dash deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to any other target.
So this requires 2 targets. If there are no creatures in the battlefield and you cast this, and you want to deal 2 to your opponent, that's great. You will also be taking 1 damage.
Yeah,
Those are the only 2 targets available.
This is a good call out.
There are very rarely fewer than 2 targets available. You can almost always cast this spell, but you need 2 targets for it, and it's going to be 2 damage and 1 damage. Just like the value in this is very high. It's very unlikely that you'll be ever in a circumstance where you want to do that unless your opponent's at 2 and you're like, get there.
And then hopefully you're not at 1.
Yeah, if your opponent's at 2 and you're at 1, this can end the game in a draw.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And there's no other creatures.
There's no other creatures in the battlefield. Just
in which
the 2
case,
of you.
you're making a weird choice, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, totally.
I might just like the thing is that they draw a haste creature, right?
That's true.
Maybe it's just like, nah, let's play another game of Magic. This went pretty badly to put me at 1 and you at 2 and no creatures in the battlefield.
Yeah, it's true. It went very badly and very strangely.
Very strangely. It's okay though.
Next up is Explosive Prodigy. It's 1 and a red for a creature elemental sorcerer. As Vivid, when this creature enters, it deals X damage to target creature an opponent controls, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control, and it's a 1/1.
Yeah. So this is one of the Vivid things that determines what it does on resolution. This is the generic trigger for a Vivid thing is, comes out, you pick a target, and then on resolution of that trigger, it figures out how many objects that you have of different colors. So if you have Explosive Prodigy and a Bear Cub, that's 2. If your opponent kills the Bear Cub with this trigger in the stack, then you would only have 1.
Got it.
And that's how much damage it deals at the time that this resolves. Other stuff is Vivid at the time that you at different times. I just wanted an example of of which type of Vivid.
Appreciated. And this is a card I feel like I will definitely be trying out in draft because
It looks sweet.
I mean, 2 mana. Obviously, there's a lot of caveats, but like 2 mana for a Flame Tongue Kavu type effect feels like could be
Pretty
quite
nice.
good.
And it could be just 2 damage, and that's still pretty.
Oh
good,
yeah,
still-
great.
right?
2
Like-
damage is great.
like-
Even 1 might be pretty okay, but
Yeah.
2. If you get to 2, I think you're kind of already doing it.
Yeah,
I
if
agree.
you're like 2 is the payoff. Like 3 is about when I feel like this card is really, really
and then
valuable.
once you get to
So-
5, you're like, wow, this was.
I don't know.
messed up.
I don't know if you need to bother. I wouldn't even think about 5. I'd be like, I don't know if I'm getting 2 or 3.
Yeah,
It's pretty
sure.
good.
I just mean if they have a 5 mana, if there's a 5/5 on play and you can kill it with this 2 mana card.
I
it's a
mean,
1/1. You're feeling
you've had
great.
the best day of your life.
Yeah.
Next up, I love this art so much.
Yes, I did too.
Goat Nap.
Such good new art on this.
So such
It's a
good
reprint.
art. 2 in a
wow.
red for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. If that creature is a goat, it also gets +3/+0 until end of turn.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is a reprint from the original Lorwyn block. I have a question. How many cards with goat on their type line do you think are in this set?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. It's
I
gonna,
feel like there's gonna
but
be
it's
at least
'cause there's-
one.
There's changelings.
Yeah, that's true. You're
There's
right. You're right.
shapeshifters,
You're right.
so there's a
Yep.
bunch
It's
of
a
goats.
trick question. It's a trick.
Those are
Well
the
done,
goats.
Megan.
It's a trick
Well done.
Those are the
question.
goats.
Well done. Yeah.
There are no other goats. There's nothing.
Okay.
There's no typed goats. There's no
No,
goat
I'm sad about
tokens.
that.
We're all goats.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the only card that does anything interacting with goats, and mostly it does it to changelings. This was the joke in the previous set, and I thought it was very funny then, and I still think it's funny now.
So cute.
It is
because
very
like
cute.
it just doesn't.
Yeah.
You look at it, you're like, what does this do?
Yeah.
So if you're on the hunt for goats, if you don't know, you're like, where are all the goats? This card tells me that there's a payoff for my opponent having goats. Your opponent probably does have a bunch of goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
In
just don't
changeling
necessarily
They're just
form.
hiding.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're goats in hiding.
Yeah.
Goats in
Which
hiding.
you would
Yes.
do if there was a card called Goat Nap. Like if I
Yes.
knew if I was a goat in the set and I knew there's a card called Goat Nap, I'd be
I'd
hiding too.
absolutely be
Yeah.
hiding.
So that all makes sense.
Number 1 priority.
Next up is Prisma Basher. 4 green for another great art. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I love this.
So good.
This little creature. It's a creature elemental. Has trample. Also has vivid. When this creature enters, up to X target creatures you control get +X X until end of turn, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control, and it's a 6/6.
Yeah, I hate this card.
Okay, fair enough.
This is
Fair enough.
my least favorite card in the set because it has the worst implementation of Vivid. It does both halves. So you pick a number
Sure.
of targets
Yeah,
based on the
yeah.
number of things that you have at the time that it goes in the stack. So if Prisma Basher comes out and you have 3 different colors, you will pick up to 3 target things. Then your opponent could kill something to down your color number. If they do, those 3 things would only get +2/+2.
Sure.
Wow.
The target's already locked in.
Yep.
So you're stuck on that.
Yeah.
But then it calculates the X's for the power toughness boost at the time it resolves.
So it says one of these changes and one of these stays the same.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's not immediate. Like if you aren't super familiar with the rules, you'd be like, well, do I have to pick one fewer thing?
Yeah,
Does the
totally.
whole thing get countered
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
isn't?
yeah.
I don't have the right number anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. Doesn't matter. The targets got locked in by the trigger at the time it went in the stack.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they
Good
could
thing
have.
to know.
Yeah. This is a very frustrating
Implementation of it.
implementation.
Prisma Basher, more
Yeah.
like Rob bashes
Yeah.
you.
Prisma.
I mean,
The
it should just give the bonus out to like all your creatures or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
This is just a like they wanted to depower it as an overrun. It's a 6/6 for 6.
Yeah.
Like
Calm down.
yeah, whatever. Like
Maybe
they
they
get
just
6
don't-
mana for this.
Yeah.
It might as well give all your creatures +4/+4. Who
Yeah,
cares?
they might have felt like the art was so powerful that they needed to nerf
That
the
they
card
needed
a
to
little
nerf the
like
card.
it's a bear
Yeah.
that's also a rhino beetle.
My gosh.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
running through like an aurora.
And it's
great.
and its little tusks, yeah, are like
Yep.
making a little
Really
rainbow.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Really good. Abigail, Eloquent First Year. This is hybrid white black for a 1/1 legendary creature, Bird Bard.
Such a
I
good
love
type line.
it. Bird Bard.
It is.
Most powerful type line in the set.
Yeah, very, very satisfying.
Flying, first strike, lifelink. When Abigail enters, up to one other target creature loses all abilities. Put a flying counter, a first strike counter, and a lifelink counter on that creature. All right.
Yeah.
Don't have to
So,
tell me twice.
Yeah, this is durationless.
Uh-huh.
This is not until end of turn. This is not while it has the counters. This is not while Abigail's in the battlefield.
Uh-huh.
This is, hey, that thing, it stops having abilities.
Yeah.
And so luckily it puts 3 counters on there so you can remember that it doesn't have any abilities.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty good. This is this is the high point of these. There are 3 things that do this in the set, and I'm unhappy with all of them. that have durationless. They have durationless things.
Yeah.
This puts counters out. It's fine.
Sure.
But the thing is, if you target a creature with Changeling, it still has all creature types, despite not having the Changeling ability in it.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
which we've
what you
already
said.
learned, but
Yes.
is not intuitive.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is because the type the way that you determine characteristics of an object is set up in a procedural order to make everything.
Obviously.
Well,
Come on, everyone.
yeah, it's called the layer system. You may have heard about it. You may have heard how complicated it is. Almost all the time, it's very intuitive. It's set up this way so that if you add types to something, like if you have a card that says equipped creature is all types, and then you have something else that says Merfolk get Merfolk gain Island Walk, then it would get Island Walk.
Yeah.
Those are always in that order. It's always type changing first, and then ability adding and removing.
Sure.
And so it's just annoying that it works out this way with Changeling.
Yeah.
We're on to Doran, Besieged by Time. Old man that loves butts.
Yep. So
Wow, the only place that we're okay with it.
yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, and I
Wait.
think it's partially because it's
Are we not okay with loving butts?
No, we
well,
are okay.
I think just
but I guess
when
the
you say
phrase
old
"an old man loving butts,"
I think
I guess I don't want to dissuade old
I
men
agree.
from loving
You
butts.
know what? I think they should be
You're
allowed.
right. You're
I have a
right.
big gray beard. I'm feeling discriminated against.
Well, Rob, I wouldn't call you old.
Yeah.
But also, you can like butts for however long you want.
Yeah.
Anyways, you're right. I should have been hating
I
from
feel
the
like
beginning.
this is more like a common sense type of a thing. I think you know the butts that you know what butts are okay to like and what butts might be a little problematic to like. And I think you should, and that's not something we need to explain to you. That's something that you know yourself. So just sit with that for a minute. You can just take a press the pause button and just spend like about a minute just kind of like contemplating that.
You know which
and that
butts.
answer will come to you.
Okay.
All right.
Just don't like problematic butts. Is that your take?
Yeah,
I
but
think
but
so.
it's not even but I'm saying what I just said, I'm not even going to say it that straightforwardly because the person needs to feel it for themselves, and I know that they can and will. But I'm telling you, just take a minute right now. If you're asking yourself, I don't know what they're talking about, just take a minute. Just pause the episode and just take 1 minute, and it will come to you. I promise you it will. All right.
Okay.
Doran, Besieged by Time.
Yeah, Doran Besieged by Time. 1 white, black, green for a legendary creature, Treefolk Druid. Each creature spell you cast with toughness greater than its power costs 1 less to cast. And then it also has a more complicated text, which is whenever a creature you control attacks or blocks, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the difference between its power and toughness, and it's a 0/5.
This is powerful.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. It's a mana rock. It's a anthem because Doran here is going to attack or block as a 5/10 generally.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for 4 mana.
It is.
I'm a huge fan.
A lot of stats.
But the thing with Doran is a math problem, and Doran leads us into problems with negative numbers.
Yes.
But there aren't any negative numbers in this set, are there?
Yeah,
Rob?
the set doesn't
Luckily,
have
it doesn't
any
have
way to
any of
reduce the power of
those.
creatures. Let's pretend that Doran somehow, for some unknown reason, like we
Might
use
get a-
serrated arrows
Yeah.
from Homelands.
Yeah, might get a
and put
-1/-1
put a
counter.
-1/-1 counter on Doran. Doran is going to be a -1/4. Most of the time, this is the same as a 0/4. Except for Doran's trigger, it's not.
Yep.
Doran will use the actual power and the actual toughness to determine
Wow.
what boost is being given to that creature. So Doran, if you put a -1/-1 counter on him, will still get +5/+5 because there's still a difference of 5 between the actual power and the actual toughness.
Yeah.
The result of a calculation can only ever end up with 0 or a positive number in Magic. The intermediate steps of a calculation can use whatever numbers exist. So
Crazy statements.
Yeah.
But
Doran,
okay.
Yeah, Doran is an old man who loves big butts and enjoys math.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Doran is
I feel
someone
seen.
and Doran
And I love that song.
it is. And I also want to say Doran, as you can see from the art, has spent the time that he
Yeah.
needed to contemplate what that
Yes,
meant for him.
what that
And
meant for
he's
him.
reached the solution that we all need to.
I like
Yep.
big butts and I like to do math. Marilyn Fey Ascendant. This is 2 black, green, blue for a 4/5 legendary creature, Elf Fairy Noble. Flying. Whenever Marilyn or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. Once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves and fairies you control from among cards exiled with Marilyn this turn without paying its mana cost.
This card is wild. And I just want to say at the pre-release, Ben was shouting like into the void about getting utterly annihilated by this when Graham played it. Graham was like, I'm going to play Marilyn. I'm going to take all the cards of value out of your library. Ben's like, okay. And then he then attacked with it. And Ben's like, I would like to block. And Graham's like, you can't because mine flies. And it flies as well on top of taking all their cards.
Yeah, and this card, being a 4/5 flyer on top of everything else is like pretty mean.
Real insult to injury type of a situation.
Insane. Yeah. But the thing is that this triggered ability the static ability. The triggered ability is straightforward. Thing comes out, exile 2 cards. The static ability, once each turn, so that's on each player's turn, you may cast a spell that has mana value less than or equal to the number of elves and fairies you control from among cards exiled with Marilyn this turn without paying its mana cost. So the thing is that it has to have been exiled this turn, which is not okay, can I go back in time? No, it has to have been something that's exiled this turn.
Yep.
And you have to count the number of things that you have to determine whether or not you can cast it. And you don't have to pay the mana cost on that thing. But you cast spells only, so you can't play lands.
Sure.
So lands are gone forever. So if you have Marilyn, she came out this turn, she exiles 2 cards. You currently, because you had 2 previous elves, you have 3 elves, and you see a 4 mana thing, you can't play that right now. But if you play another elf or fairy, you go up to 4, and now you'll be able to play it.
Sure.
It also doesn't change the timing restrictions on when you can play the thing. So if it's on your opponent's turn, you play an elf or fairy, you exile 2 cards, and you don't see anything that has flash or an instant, you can't play those things. So it keeps the timing restriction. It's a complicated, weird trigger. Yeah. And I've had to reread this multiple times to know exactly what the conditions were of it's limited by mana value, it's limited by this turn, it's limited by and so it's not immediately obvious if you haven't read it a couple times and really internalized it, what it's going to do the first time that you start exiling cards with Marilyn. She also triggers herself. So she just comes out and hits 2 cards. You may get something for free. You may not. You may just tilt your opponent because you hit their 2 best removal spells and they can't kill Marilyn anymore. Yeah. It sucks. This card is crazy powerful. Play it if you're reasonable on colors.
Yeah. And I do empathize with it because I trigger myself sometimes too. You know what I mean? I think we've all been there.
We have all been there.
Yeah. Next up is Sanar. I don't know how to say this name, but Sanar.
Sure.
Yeah. Sanar, innovative first year. 2 hybrid blue-red for a 2/4 legendary creature goblin sorcerer. It has vivid. At the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. For each of those colors, you may exile a card of that color from among the revealed cards, then shuffle. You may cast the exiled cards this turn.
That's a lot of times. That's so many words.
Yeah, it's a maze.
This is another word maze. Yeah. So during resolution, you figure out how many different colors you have. Great. You will also need to, unlike every other Vivid card, track what colors these are.
Yes.
You probably have blue and red and some other stuff because you have Sanar.
Yep.
You're going to reveal cards off the top of your library until you reveal non-land permanents equal to the number of colors that you have. Then, for each of the colors that you have, so if you have blue and red, you'll flip until you hit 2 non-land permanents. You can, for each of the colors that you have, you may exile a card of that color from among the revealed cards.
So if they were both blue,
you get 1. And so you get 1 thing because they're both blue.
Yeah.
Even though you have blue and red. Okay. Then you may exile this. So if it's a blue card you don't want to cast, like it's a counter spell, you don't have to.
Nice.
And so you may exile a card of the color from among the revealed cards. Then all of the cards that were revealed, because they're still in your library, are shuffled into your library. The cards that you exiled sit in exile. You may then cast the exiled cards this turn. It sets up a duration. For the whole remainder of your turn, at their normal timings, you can cast those cards. So if they are instants, you can cast them during combat. If they're creatures or sorceries, you can cast them on your main phase when the stack is empty. But you don't cast them without paying their mana costs.
Sure.
You still have to pay for them.
Yeah.
So it's a very complicated way to draw 2 non-land permanents, like some number of non-land permanents.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then get thrown away. If you don't cast them this turn, they're gone and they're exiled forever.
Yeah.
All right. But like you said, you don't have to
Yes, you
exile
don't have
them.
to exile.
Correct.
You
don't
can't
have
be
to.
like, can't do this, and they
Yes.
get shuffled back in.
Right. If
Nice.
you blue and red and you see a blue card that costs 7 mana and a blue card that costs 6 mana, and you're like, I only have 6 mana. I can cast the 6. I can't cast the 7. I'll pick the 6.
Yeah.
Or if you only have 5 mana, you're like, I don't want to do either of these. Get out of here. Send them both away.
Yeah.
You get to look at things. It is a very amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word soup.
Word
Yeah.
soup.
Shadow Urchin. This is 2 and hybrid black red for a 3/4 creature. Oof.
Oof.
This is a pretty big oof.
Yeah.
When this creature attacks, blight 1, put a -1/-1 counter on a creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with 1 or more counters on it dies, exile that many cards from the top of your library until your next end step. You may play those cards.
So, Shadow Urchin instructs you to blight during the resolution of the trigger. Fairly normal. Trigger resolves. You put a counter on a thing. Then it has this other dies. Whenever something with counters on it dies, that many cards is the number of counters, because it's actually a little weirdly ambiguous in the sentence.
Oh yeah.
Because it's it could be other things, but it counts the number of counters to determine how many cards you're going to be exiled.
Oh.
And then the duration on this is strange. Until your next end step. So until the next time that you get an end step. You cannot cast them during your next end step. You can only cast them until the next time you would get an end step. Or until the next time an end step starts for you. Once an end step starts for you, you can't cast them anymore and they're gone forever.
Got it.
Wow.
So if you have them die during your end step, you get the maximum amount of time. You get to wait all the way through every other player's turn until it comes back to you, and then you get them during all your main phases. And then as soon as end step happens, it clears.
Got it.
This is a lot of other things that are impulse draw like this are until your next turn. Or until end of turn.
End of turn, yeah.
Neither of these is true. This ends randomly in the middle of your turn. The next time that you get an end step, you stop being able to use them.
Cutoff.
That cutoff exists also on the Seek the Beasts adventure off of whatever the questing druid is from Lorwyn, which is I've run into this and people are like, I should be able to cast them now. It's my end step. I'm like, nah. Your end step started. Duration ended. They're like, what? But that doesn't. Yeah, nope. It's not logic. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's not the way other cards are templated.
Yeah. Next up is Curious Colossus. It's 5 white for a 7/7 giant warrior. When this creature enters, each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities, becomes a coward in addition to its other types, and has base power and toughness 1/1. I bet you're a big fan of this one, Rob.
No. I don't know why they printed this. This is a durationless trigger.
Yeah.
The time this trigger happens, you figure out the set of creatures that they have right now, and they get this effect applied to them.
Yeah.
That will persist until forever, until those things leave the battlefield.
Yeah.
Or the game ends. Not until end of turn, not until Curious Colossus leaves the battlefield.
That's rough.
Yep, it's rough, and it's going to be very annoying to track in paper because the next creature they play isn't a coward.
Yeah.
It's just a regular old creature.
Yeah.
Now, they also goofed this up because they could have just said becomes a coward. They didn't have to say in addition to its other types. I don't know why they said in addition to their other types. If they said becomes a coward, it would wipe out Changeling. But they said it becomes a coward in addition to its other types, which means that Changelings just don't have any type line effect. Because it doesn't wipe out types. Yeah. It's very weird that they did this. This is humility, but with duration problems, and I hate it.
Nice.
And so, yeah, it's a strange thing.
Yeah.
And just be aware that you're going to have to track those things. Probably just put them in a big stack, write the word coward on them, and, I don't know.
Fling them into the sun.
Yeah. Put them in a big coward stack.
If Magic was a digital-only game, cards like this would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I actually, I played a ton of Ikoria on Arena, which was the first really digital forward set.
Yep.
And Crystalline Giant is a very fun card to play in Arena.
And
I've played Crystalline Giant. Yeah. Have you played it in paper?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I think it was played in a Commander arcade game. And
Yes.
and it was
stupendously annoying.
Yeah.
To play in paper.
Truly.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's also
Agreed.
Last up, we have Mirror Form. This is 4 blue for an instant. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent.
Remember how I said there were 3 cards that had durationless
Yeah.
effects?
Here's the last
This is
one,
the last
buddy.
one. It's durationless. Mirror Form, you point it at a non-aura permanent, and every non-land permanent you control is that thing forever. It doesn't.
It just is now.
Just is now.
It's intense to think about.
And this is wild. This is this is Mirror Weave, but like better. Because it doesn't have a duration on it. This will produce some very strange things.
Yes.
The one thing that doesn't get affected by this that you might think would is the status of whether or not an object is a token. So if you have some tokens, you'll end up with token. They're still tokens, but they are copies
of whatever the thing.
If you copy a token, things will get the characteristic that token was defined with, and then just be non-token objects. It's a little weird. Mirror Form will do a bunch of very strange things. The copy effect changes the base characteristics of the object, and then everything else gets applied on top of it. If there's continuous effects, they'll apply on top. But if you have an equipment that says this is all creature types, that applies on top of the copy effect, just like everything else. This also does not require you to target one of your permanents. And so if your opponent has some cool, 6/5 with menace or something, and you're like, on your end step, I would like everything that I own to be a 6/5 menace. And they'll be like, wow, your Springleaf Drum got a little bit of an upgrade. You'd be like, yes, so it did. So did all my other permanents. My turn. I would like to attack.
The drum is coming for you.
Yeah, that's what this is going to do. Is it like you'll still apply -1/-1 counters on top of the things. Like it's also lets you get blown out because your opponent can like sacrifice a thing or kill a thing in response to Mirror Form.
Sure, yeah.
But it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And like I said, no duration. They're that thing forever. Probably won't last that long in a limited game, but in Commander, this is going to be very annoying.
Yeah. And just, as you said, with all these cards, tracking on these types of effects is very complicated.
Yeah, this is not a paper forward design.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shoot.
So
wow, Rob, what a list.
What a list.
What a great list of cards.
Yeah,
I had 15 cards in this list. It's
that's not many.
That's
considering.
not many. Yeah, they're each individually a little bit weird. They all feel very, very Lorwyn-like. Honestly, almost any of these I could see back in the previous Lorwyn.
Yeah. Which I feel like in general, like this Lorwyn set seems really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. As we said, the art is A+, and then a lot of the cards you just like, ooh.
Yeah, this is handily my favorite art since Edge of Eternity.
Yeah.
And it's conceivable it might even beat Edge of Eternity.
Yeah.
And I know Curious Colossus is a pain for you, but I'm just saying that I would also become a 1/1 coward if a giant picked up my home.
I don't like if he just had a static ability that said creatures your opponents control are 1/1 cowards.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
And you could remove the Colossus and then it would go away. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
But Rob, that's not considering the trauma that he caused to those families.
But then the future people that show up will get to pass the trauma. The trauma gets passed forward to them.
Oh yeah, it's true. They should be. Yeah, everyone else who arrives also becomes a 1/1.
Yeah.
Or at least like a 2/2. I think this would, that's a card that I'd really love to see.
It's not a 1/1, but the next creatures that enter are 2/2s, and the next ones after that are 3/3s.
This is a card I want to see.
I was going to say, narratively, they have some things to answer for with this card right now.
Yeah.
We've definitely fixed the story of it, but I think that we're about to give Rob a heart attack.
Yeah, not a heart attack, an aneurysm.
Yeah, we're about to give Rob an
either way,
aneurysm.
I don't wish that either of those for you, Rob. So man, we should probably stop with that.
Absolutely not. I get why that can't be the way a card functions.
Yeah, but I like to think about it.
Yeah,
it kind of can be if the card like put counters on itself.
Sure,
it's like whenever a creature enters, put a counter on this, and that creature becomes a XX coward, where X is the number of counters on this. Something
to contemplate. Yeah.
Well, this is usually when we talk about the cutest card and the grossest card. But of course, Maria is not here.
Yeah, right. But aren't you Maria's understudy and Tyler's your understudy?
Wow, that's true.
That's true. But I have to say that we do have information that there is going to be
there is going to be a whole patron only segment.
Yeah, that Maria is going to record from the comfort of her home.
But I will say that because I know that I think it will make her mad and potentially listeners as well, I'm going to pick a cutest card.
Yeah, do it.
Wow. I am drunk with power right now.
Yeah,
and you have huge responsibility because this is the cutest set.
I know
This
feels like, and I will also say that Maria does ultimately have the power here because she will just edit this out if she doesn't want it to happen.
Wow, that's true. Maria can
But even so, we can make it really hard for her too. Though,
I would love to have her like edit over it where you have Megan go with the robot voice. The cutest card is Auntie's sentence.
Whatever Maria says.
Auntie, ooh.
Hello fam, Maria here. I'm gonna just bop on into this episode because, as they referenced, I do have the power as the editor to stop whatever they're saying and put in whatever I want. So suck it. So they're about to name cutest card in some kind of weird sort of like power move over me, to which I say, you may try, but you will never be the one true arbiter of cutest card, okay? That is moi and moi alone. If you want to hear the actual real choice of cutest card, you can if you're a patron at any dollar amount, even our little tip jar level, which is just $2 a month. You can come on and there's a special bonus episode, a bonus video and podcast this month where I go through all of my favorite cute cards in the set and some other cards I just want to call it for having amazing art or really unusual and interesting art. It's a delight, and you can find it on patreon.com/GLHF Magic if you're a patron of any dollar amount. Again, you'll be able to hear the official cutest card, not this crap that they're about to spoon feed you. The truth is, though, actually, they do mention the card that I end up picking as cutest card, but it might not be the one they or you think. So I'm going to keep you guessing. Hope you become a patron, or if you already are one, come on over as soon as this episode is released. It's available for patrons on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. All right, back to my surgery recovery and more editing, despite being betrayed.
All right, here it is.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I do feel just like, okay, Sizzling Changeling is obviously very cute.
Yes, I agree.
Squawk Roaster is absolutely incredible. Though really incredible work there. Squawk Roaster is like pretty high up there for me, I think. I think I know which one Maria is going.
There is one that she has.
There's
one that she has indicated.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say, I think that if I were, I am going to try and respect what I believe would be Maria's
That's
wishes
beautiful.
a little.
I appreciate that.
Because if it were me, I think I would choose Flock Imposter.
That's the one that's the
which
huge
is
standout.
Just hilarious to me.
It really is. It really is.
Funny. It is
it.
Like it's
So
hard to tell.
cute.
It's hard to tell a really, really good joke with a static image like this with no words.
Yeah,
and
but they kind of do
this
get
is
it done.
Good joke.
Yeah, I
Yes. But I do believe that Maria's choice would be Chomping Changeling.
agree. Yeah, I think
That's fair.
I think
I
that you
think
might
that
be
is
right.
Maria's
Yeah.
brand
Sword,
of
right?
freaking weird.
Yeah. It's, just look how square that
Bizarre
little boy's
little
jowls
lad.
are,
Because he's got a mouthful of sword.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know. It's,
there is something kind of wrong with him, and
there's
that
something
makes him
kind of wrong, and that makes it exactly
the
right.
cutest
for
card.
Maria.
Exactly. Although, gosh, there's so many. Mutable Explorer,
Yeah,
so
I
cute. Prisma Basher, as we've already spoken about,
Yes,
so
I
cute.
do love Prisma Basher.
Very hard. But I think
As you try to
Maria's
be
wishes.
the best understudy you possibly can.
yeah, Chomping Changeling.
Jumping changeling. I
Not
respect
Gangly Stompling.
Oh no!
that. There's always new.
There's always new ones.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this set like Glister Baron would be they've pushed the cute. They've tried too hard.
yeah.
Yeah,
pandering,
they're
right?
condescending. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we did determine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that. For
And
sure.
Vibrance.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Vibrance,
I do love
I
Vibrance. But
think
again,
pushed.
Not a
you
dog
also,
person.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
Pushed.
also
And
not
Maria's not a dog
Yeah,
person,
you've
so we
already
have to-
called this out.
yeah, we have to
'cause
respect
I
that.
do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. That
Yeah.
flower dog, it does do something for me for sure.
Tyler, do you want to try and pick a grossest card?
All right, here we go. Yep, I guess that is what the responsibility is.
I
for
would
me.
not try to overrule you here.
Okay, all right.
Also, I will say, oh, wait, okay. Oh, boy.
Well, if you found,
Oh,
Megan,
man. This one is hard for me because I think that this card is terrifying and disgusing, but I also kind of love it. So that's all that I can,
I'm gandering. I mean,
Yeah.
for sure, there's a few that have stood out to me. One is Reaping Willow. I mean, that card just has a lot of, I think those are like root tongues that are like coming out of this tree's mouth, and that feels pretty gross.
Yeah.
But let me glance for a moment longer here. Let's see.
That's pretty. Do you know what, Tyler? That's like a pretty good.
I'll also say
that's a pretty good read on what Megan finds disgusting.
Gristle Glutton, that one has like some, I don't know where that thing's body ends, and like the, that's, Rob is pointing out Kith Keeper, which I'm going to search up right now.
Oh, Gristle Glutton is pretty high up there, although it is just a guy.
Yeah, just a guy. But
which one did Rob point out?
Well, Kith Keeper, that's like I guess like an elk butterfly.
It's a moth.
Yeah, moth. You're right.
Ooh,
elk moth.
Yeah, that's
with
pretty
like
high
this
up there. That's not my. Although it's kind of okay. This is right up there with the other. All
right, please, May. I'm waiting on waiting.
Like
with
this is
breath.
this is the other high rank one, right?
Graspling, yeah.
Yeah, Kitness graspling.
Okay, I think you all.
Megan?
Just don't know how I feel about all of the legs in Shimmer Creep.
That's fair.
I love goat.
Yeah.
I love goat so much, which makes this really hard for me. I love goat.
Yeah.
But these legs.
Those legs are. And
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like them legs.
I feel
that's why I thought that you might not like the moth deer.
I know, but the wings are so pretty. It kind of wins me back over.
It distracts it too much. But this one, the legs are very featured.
But Tyler,
it's like
you have to pick.
forward.
That's just one that like spoke to me.
To you,
but you named a lot of also like I think that your first pick of that weird tree.
Yeah, I kind of
Willow,
that is the one I'm actually coming back to. So I think I am gonna say Reaping Willow. I just think there's something. Like a part of it is it reminds me of that blood crypt that we spoke about a few weeks ago, where it's like this is just a place. No matter whether obviously this is probably in Shadowmoor, like let's be honest, that's probably what it is. But even if this creature like went, if this location was transported into Lorwyn, I still think this would be a place you just wouldn't be that jazzed about visiting. And there's something, I'm a big lover of trees, and there's something about the fact that this tree still kind of like makes me feel uncomfortable that I think has to make
really
it the grossest card for me.
Wow. And Cute Land, I do also have to call out Prideful Feastling because it's cute. It's got the derpy face. It's got the little.
Yep.
Oh, there's a lot of cute cards here.
Right. And the Prideful Feastling is a reference to.
But Go ahead, Rob. What were you
there's a what is it? The hatchling, the venerated hatchling.
Oh yeah. Yes. Wow.
A card that really bridges the divide between the two for me is Sig's Command. That one, there's something very cute about it, and there's something
also something creepy,
disturbing about it.
I was also going to say Mischievous Sneakling is kind of. I think that for me is like I don't like it, but I almost could.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there.
And that seems like also the kind of weird little dude Maria would pick.
That's true. I totally agree with that. Something about it's like, you don't want to. I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to meet that creature, but like from a distance here, there is something that's just a little cute about it.
Just a little cute.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Rob.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm gonna pick my best card name.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
My best card name: Noggle the Mind.
Yes, agreed.
Great choice.
Great choice.
Noggle. Just who doesn't like to say Noggle?
And it also solves the changeling problem by setting a creature type. Like everything about this card is perfect.
All right.
Change a creature, loses all abilities into colorless Noggle.
Yep.
With base power and toughness 1/1. Perfect.
We love it.
No notes.
Also, this art is sick.
It actually
this art is cool.
They got Thomas Baxa back to do art in this set because they wanted to do Shadowmoor stuff, and his stuff looks like it screams Shadowmoor.
Yeah,
and it's
Shadowmoor coded. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
he's so Shadowmoor coded.
Yep.
Thank you so much to our sponsor, Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, the best place to get all of your Lorwyn Eclipsed cards. Whether there are singles that you have your sneaky little eyes on, or if there are Or if you're just excited to maybe get your hands on one of those draft night boxes.
Yep, I was thinking of that too, yeah.
Seems so fun. Or the commander decks, cardkingdom.com/GLHF, the place to get all of those things.
Yeah, they'll send it all to you in one box. It's very convenient. You don't have to worry about waiting around for 5 different shipments and leaving them out on your porch or wherever your shipments get sent to.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a place that is run by people that we really appreciate, and we hope that you'll show your appreciation by buying some stuff from them.
Thank you as well to Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield are our very favorite card sleeves to use.
Yes.
Whether we are using their, they have so many different kinds of art, right? They have their magic art, their licensed magic art.
Yep.
Gorgeous. They have all of their cute seasonal arts.
Yep. Also,
You can
delightful.
get Christmas sleeves,
Yep.
Halloween sleeves, Year of the Horse sleeves.
Yeah.
And of course, they're all also dragon themed. So if you were like, wow, you can't possibly combine Christmas and a dragon,
Well,
Dragon Shield has got you covered.
That's right. That's where you'd be wrong.
Yeah, you can get just matte, same color, all one color sleeves.
Yep, and some beautiful colors, and they often come out
Yes.
with new colors. Like there was
all the time.
was it gooseberry or something? Was that
Yes.
recently? And I really liked that. It was like a
there
really
was that one.
pale kind of green. And,
Oh, that one was great.
It was,
That was a really good call, Tyler.
Yeah.
That color was a new favorite of mine as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can even get your own custom sleeves.
Yes.
So Dragon Shield, get them sleeves, man. There's preferably using the link in the show notes because you'll get 5% off your order.
And they'll know that we sent you, which
Yeah.
would be appreciated.
It means a lot to us.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, that is our episode. Thank you once again, of course, to Judge Rob.
Yes, as always. You know what? I mean, I never can quite understand how he fits all those things in his head. But
And now
I'm
he doesn't have
appreciative
to
that he does.
worry about fitting those things in his head because we slurped him out with a straw.
That's true. Yeah, we've made some extra room for Rob to go out and put some more knowledge in his head, Sherlock
Yes.
Holmes style. He only keeps what's necessary in there, and we help him with that by slurping it out.
So you were doing a service to the judging community by listening to this episode.
That's
if you
right.
think about it, everybody.
Because we also can't hold it all. So by listening to this episode, you are essentially tapping our craniums and
Yes.
slurping out the knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you as well to our sponsors, Card Kingdom and Dragon Shield. Tap in and slurp out some card sleeves.
Tap in, slurp out.
This has been Good Luck High Five. And once again, we're reminding you.
To tap in and slurp out.